What is up, guys? It is Sam, the Raid Man. As you guys know, we've been playing the free-to-play account for almost a full month now, or about 3 weeks now. One thing that has really put in perspective for me is how good some rares are and how trash some rares are. And it kind of makes you more dependent on those solid rares. So I want to go through today and talk about the best rare from every faction inside the game. Some of them are easy, some of them are not so easy. So I'll go through kind of some honorable mentions. A lot of the factions you will see don't have any great ones. This is definitely not a super solid opinion. I mean, super solid factual list. This is kind of just my opinion. So there's a few to kind of consider here. Dagger does AoE decrease defense with a single target decrease attack, but it's only 75% chance. I've heard some people say Risk Karma is good. He does a shield, counterattacks himself, and a small increased defense. It's not bad, but I would probably give it to Valerie. She's not very scalable, but she's pretty good early game, and she can be very, very helpful if you're stuck on Bommel, placing shields and then increasing durations. So placing shields, she can also be used in any of the Wixwell shield teams, increasing duration of all buffs by 1 turn, 1 to 3 turn cooldown, plus a small increase attack. So not an amazing champion, but there are uses for her, especially early game, but even a little bit in the end game. This one's going to be one of the easiest ones. Elhain is good. Eris is amazing. Hyria is good. I think Hyria is the most slept on in this faction. So extra chance of critting, triple hitter, each one has big chance of placing a big poison, books a 50% chance, that's a good ability. And then very similar to like Kale's A3, and then ally attack with 2 other attacks. So I think she's sneaky good, but obviously the answer is Apothecary. Defense in dungeons by 21%, increased speed, for 2 turns, fills the turn meter of all allies by 15%, 1 to 3 turn cooldown. Big heal can be critical, which is pretty fun. And then a triple hitter on the A1, so good in Fire Knight, good in Arena, good in Dungeons, really just great anywhere. I would say top 3 rare in the game. Super quick announcement, got some pretty exciting news from Plarium. I now have my own promo code. So if you want to start a second account, or if you want to start your first account, if you've never played Raid before, you can use this link code to download the game. I showed this in one of my videos, but basically if you use this code, it will give you a free Karato Fox Hunter and 3 epics, Fane, Romero, and Vergis. And here it is, but I'll go ahead and put this in the description of my video. If you use this, you will get, like I talked about, the legendary champion from the Shadowkin faction, Karato Fox Hunter, who's a good damage dealer and pretty good control. A great kickstart if you want to start a new account, or like I said, if you just want to start a second account, you can also pair this code with the Monkey King code or the Superpowers code and get one of those great champions as well. Sacred Order is an interesting one. There's a few solid ones. I would personally give it to Armiger if he was a rare, but he's not. So let's talk about some shoutouts. Templar, underrated champion, 4-time hitter, can place provoke, places block damage on himself. He's also defense based. Decrease speed on the A1, and this is a really cool passive. Attacks with this champion's default skill whenever an enemy places a debuff on this champion. I'm sure if you fought him in the campaign in Valdemar Strait, you might have seen this. It can be pretty annoying. Just like that, it can be pretty annoying against the enemy when you fight with him. I think Purgator is another slept on champion. He hits really hard on this one. Inflicts 10% extra crit damage for each debuff on this champion. So if you have 5 debuffs, you prepare him with like a Gerptug or something, he stacks up to 50% extra damage, and he actually hits really, really hard. But I think, in my opinion, it's got to go to Aethel. Triple hitter, pretty hard hitting ability, and then she can buff herself, increase attack, and then increase defense if she's lower than 50% HP. Gives her an extra turn. She's not amazing, but I think that's probably the best one. I could be swayed there, so let me know in the comments if you disagree. Barbarians, another one I think is pretty easy. There's a lot of really good ones though. Marked is good. Decreased defense, small version of the A1. Decreased accuracy, AoE, hits okay. The block debuffs and increased defense. This is big on a 3-turn cooldown. I've used her in a lot of budget clan boss teams. Soulbond Bowyer, AoE on the A1, so great in stun set, very good for like Doom Tower, secret rooms, but also can hit really hard on this one. And then this one can 100% decrease turn meter. Everything has an additional 25% chance of inflicting a critical hit, so she only needs 75, but really you get 15, so you only need to add 60 crit rate to her. Berserker hits hard. I think he would be the best in some other factions, but in this one he's like the 4th. The number 1 though is War Maiden. I feel like I'm going to get demonetized just having her on screen, but AoE decreased defense on a 3-turn cooldown, increased attack on herself if it's critical, and then a little poison on the A1. She's so good. Ogryn Tribes. We're trying to move through pretty quickly. This one's going to be weird. There's not really any good ones. Roughstone has an AoE on the A1, so you can be put in a stun set. Bellower is great. Gear Grinder is solid. I'm between Bellower and Ogryn Jailer, who's like the hardest hitting single target rare in the game. Personally, I like Ogryn Jailer better, but I feel like I've got to go with Bellower. He's been a stalwart in the game. He can be an amazing campaign farmer, amazing in faction wars. You can build him with accuracy and a stun set and just let him do control in his A1 over and over and over again. He's just too good. He's got one of the best kits in the game. If he's a really, really good candidate for that one. What is the blessing called? The one that increases everything to bigger versions. I don't think it's a rare thing though. Yes, this one, Nature's Bounty. So he can use it. Chance of placing the greater version of a debuff. So whenever he's placing one of those 15% or 25%, it can be upgraded. So for example, this is small decrease speed. AoE, 75% chance of placing big decrease speed. That's a good ability. AoE, decrease attack and decrease defense. Big version. That's really big. That's like a really good ability. So I think he's a really, really good candidate for that one. Let's see what my Bellower is. Maybe that's something we test out for a future video. I don't think he's that high of a soul. Hopefully I have a soul. Okay. All right. We got a 5-star soul on him. That's 100% going to be the mastery we choose on him. So 5 stars gives us a 45% chance of placing a greater version. That's not amazing, but we've already got him in the stun set. So crit rate, we're going to do A1s, 30% chance of block active skills, and then chance of the stuns, and then we'll do these as well. Moving on to Lizardmen. Kind of weird. I don't know much about this Terex guy. AoE provoke, 75% chance is solid, defense based, little strengthen on all allies. Counterattack on himself for 3 turns is cool though, especially because he also provokes. It's not bad. Metal Shaper's niche, so is Muckstalker, so is Bogwalker. Bogwalker is like very early game. To me, in between Haruspex and Terex, small poison they want for Haruspex is nice, but not super important. AoE turn meter increase and a small increased speed. Basically like a mini version of Apothecaries, but he's got a single target revive, 30% HP, 30% turn meter, speed in arena. I feel like this guy's not bad. I'm going to go with Haruspex. I think he is the best. I think he's very, very good early on. I would like to have one on my free to play. Very good for faction wars. The revive, even if it's just single target, can help you get that 3 stars. Realistically, for the Skinwalkers, there's 2. It's Greybeard, it's Gnarlhorn. Channeler's not bad. Grappler's not bad. Or no, Channeler is bad, right? Yes. Well, he's got the turn meter. Grappler's not bad. Fleshmugger's got the decreased defense, but really it's all about Gnarlhorn. AoE provoke, 3-turn cooldown, increased defense, and he's got an unkillable. He can do the stupid stuff in Phantom Shogun, but just for a rare, it's a very, very strong kit. All right, moving on to Orcs. So obviously got Gaelic here. Got my boy Ironclad. I've been wanting to make an updated video for him in 2025. That's about it. We got Veteran, who used to be a big decreased attack guy in Clan Boss. I mean, he's defense based. He still can be a decreased attack guy in Clan Boss. Damage increases according to this champion's max HP. Why is it worded like that? I'm not going to give it to Gaelic, so I'm going to give it to Ironclad. So if you're unfamiliar with what Ironclad does, you can ignore his A1, and you can actually ignore his A2. That's all of his active skills, by the way. It's all about the passive. Bloodburst, when healed, will attack all enemies, inflicting damage proportional to any surplus heal. Damage inflicted is equal to 50% of any surplus heal. So let me paint you a picture. You're in a Doom Tower wave with Apothecary, the guy we just mentioned earlier, and Ironclad. Ironclad has 50,000 health. Apothecary is going to use a critical heal and it's going to heal him for 40,000 health. If Ironclad is full health already, it will all be a surplus heal, right? He's at 100, he's at 100%, so 50,000. And then he's going to get surplus healed for 40% of that, which is going to be 20,000. So then damage inflicted is equal to a 50% of any surplus heal. So that is 10,000. But that's not where it ends. That's the base damage. Just like attack is the base damage of a multiplier. Once you have crit rate, if it crits, you also get a crit damage multiplier. So you built it with 100% crit rate, a buttload of crit damage, preferably in Savage Gear, and super high health. You let someone like Apothecary, who really is a sneaky good healer, heal him, and he can just nuke waves down. And he is so fun. Probably, I think, the number 1 or number 2 video on my channel, if you look it up, is an Ironclad video. It was the first video I ever had that like went viral for a small channel, like 13,000 views or something. But he's so fun, and Gaelic just isn't good. So, and he's not fun, so I'm not giving it to him. Demon Spawn up next. A few good ones here. Abyssal, AoE A1, block debuffs. Fellhound, AoE A1, decrease speed or block buffs for Abyssal. The best campaign farmer in the game by speed. Diabolist is like really good kit, just kind of low level. Increase speed on all allies, 3-turn cooldown. AoE turn meter increase, AoE turn meter decrease for the enemies. A little sleep on the A1. It's just solid ability, solid kit. Petrifia is a decreased defense, but really poison sensitivity and poisons. On the clan boss, she can do a lot of damage. She is carrying some of the people in the free-to-play competition. Hellborn Sprite, amazing in the Blixwell Brogni teams for shields. And Marquess, amazing rare defense-based nuker. Super slept on. So it's tough to go who with... I use Fellhound the most because he's my campaign farmer. I feel like This might be crazy. I feel like if we're judging it on overall kits, I'm going to go with Diabolist. Increased speed. This is like a Lydia replacer in the Mythbuster. So if I want to take my Lydia out, this will function. Obviously, she has no decreased defense or weaken, and we have to turn this off. But AoE increased speed, no turn meter boost, 3-turn cooldown for 2 turns. Sorry guys, it is very late. I'm between her and probably Fellhound. Hellborn is good, but she's just niche. So I think I'm going to give that one to Diabolist. All right, Undead Hordes. There's only so many to consider. RIP to Corpulent Cadaver, Moment of Silence. Miss that guy, undeserved nerf. Frozen Banshee, amazing poisoner, considering testing her in my clan boss team. And then Seducer, sneaky good. Increase defense block buffs, decrease attack, better than people give him respect for him. And then Doomscreech, terrifying looking champion. Just scarring. Anyways, AoE places shield, HP based champion, and attack on the A1 for some reason. But really this is his ability. Warning Screech, fills the terminal of all allies by 30%, places increased defense on all allies for 2 turns. This is really good for like an arena team if you're budget and you're trying to set up a defense based nuker. He gives you a turn meter to help you go and then increase defense as well. I'm going to go with Doomscreech, I think. Well, no, I'm not. I changed my mind. I'm such a clan boss lover and I'm a Frozen Banshee lover. Poison sensitivity. She was the first person in the game to get it. Places the 2 poisons on the A1. She used to be like solo, Ice Golem 25. Well, you get Seer someone to the boss and then she would just survive and poison him to death. Solo Dragon, she's still up there in best damage dealers, or at least best rare damage dealers for clan boss. She's just too good. For Void Rares, it's crazy that there's so many that are going to get snubbed. Judge, sneaky good. Kale, amazing. Spirit Host, sneaky good. Paragon, amazing. Painkeeper, amazing. Eviscerator, sneaky good. All those champions are great, but everyone must bow. You know, every tongue must confess, Coldheart is the GOAT, the best rare in the game. 4-time hitter on the A1, AoE, decrease accuracy and potential poisons, and then the Heartseeker. Only needs 70 crit rate, enemy max HP, enemy full turn meter decrease on a 4-turn cooldown. I still use Coldheart to this day in my Iron Twins team. It's not gonna let me show you, but it's in my Iron Twins team. She is unbelievable. Next, no discussion will be had. No disrespect will be allowed. Night Revenants, a few good shouts. Executioner used to be really good. He's kind of okay. Coffin Smasher used to be pretty good in Clan Boss. Decreased attack and HP burn. Still can be, not bad. I have Torix on my free-to-play. He's solid. Legion A1, increased defense on everybody with a chance of provoking. And then whenever he gets hit really hard, he places block damage. Whenever someone who's provoked hits him, he counterattacks. He's a cool champion. He's not that great, but he's cool. A few of these guys can be niche, Gladiator, Guardian. But to me, the best is Renegade. This is a cool ability. Sacrificial Ritual. Decreased cooldown of all ally skills by 2 turns. Doesn't affect this champion or other renegades. She receives 30% HP damage, even if it kills her. But she's used in a lot of Fire Knight teams. She's still in my Fire Knight like 25 team. She can be used in, tandem with the Seer if you need to. She can be used in particular clan boss teams with like Man-Eaters and things like that. She's awesome. Any like reset ability is pretty cool, especially for a rare to have that. All right, last 3 factions. Dwarves have so many champions and so many that are just terrible. So many bad champions in here. I miss the days when Bulwark was good. He's not the same anymore. He's got an HP burn and he can extend all debuffs when they gets hit, which was cool in Clan Boss. It still is kind of cool, but it's not that great. I would say my 2 Runic Warders got the reflect, so it can be for Fire Knight, reflect damage on all allies. It's between Dilgul and Kurzet to me. Dilgul, small decrease speed, AoE 2 times, each hit has a 75% chance of decreased accuracy. That's very high. 85% chance of decreased accuracy. He's gonna place decreased accuracy on everybody. That's very good. Void Affinity. Attacks 1 enemy 3 times. Each hit has a chance of placing 65% chance of placing decreased defense. Pretty good. Hits kind of hard. It's not amazing. It's not great. Increased accuracy on all allies, which is nice. And then decrease defense 100%. Small decrease defense, but 100% chance of placing it for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Another AoE, each critical hit fills the champion's turn meter by 7.5%, which is pretty nice. If you have 5 people, what is that, 37.5%? If you have 4 people, that's just 30%. And then decrease speed on the A1 if it's critical. Now this is really cool. He was in my Iron Twins team for a long time. It was double Demitha, and he was my decreased speed champion. Had I been with like 115 crit rate, so even if you had decreased crit rate, he would still always crit. And as long as you have the accuracy, it would always place. So he's pretty cool. I'd probably go with Kurzad. There's more stuff going on. 2 AoEs means you can target like a Sunset or Hex set. Dougal is like a damage dealer who just doesn't do enough damage. The Dwarves, very underwhelming faction. Shadowkin, the last two factions I'm not going to have tested everybody. So I'm probably going to get this wrong. Fnatic, increase attack with a little bit of a cleanse. Cleanses himself a little bit. Odachi, block debuffs and all allies for 1 turn on a 3-turn cooldown and small increased defense. Similar to like Marked or Seduced that we talked about earlier. AoE shield is nice. Small chance of provoke. And then another one I would consider is Life Taker, who I've used on my free-to-play. Double hitter on the A1, each has a chance of placing the full 100% heal reduction. Each hit books to 40%. So good for Fire Knight, really good for Spirit Dungeon, which is not something that most people think about, but on my free-to-play where I'm trying to push to 13, she has been very helpful. And then kind of hand in hand with that for Fire Knight or even for dungeons like the Spirit, attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 50, books to 75% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 10%. Third hit has a 50% chance of placing a small decreased speed. So good for both of those dungeons. Decreased speed is not bad anywhere. And then this is kind of a weird one. Veil and Reflect damage on this champion. Very selfish. If it was Veil and Reflect damage, even small version on everybody, she'd be amazing. She's still solid with this. Very niche. I don't think she's as good. I'm just give her a little shout. I think it's going to be Odachi. Shield, block debuffs, increased defense. Sylvan Watchers, again, haven't tested these as much. I think it's down to 2. I know a lot of people like Turlak and Kate, but I haven't used them as much. Bowsmith Flandin, someone that one of my subscribers turned me on to. AoE, small decreased speed, but if he places that on 3 or more enemies, gets an extra turn. And then he's got a increased accuracy on all allies. It is small, but that's okay. And then teams up with a random ally to attack a target enemy. So a little ally attack for a rare, solid. Stun on the A1, and then 35% chance of lowering it by 5, turn meter by 5%. If they're under decreased speed by him, decrease it by 10%. So good for like a little bit good for Fire Knight. Not an amazing champion, but solid. Probably gonna be Tree Shield Knot, small decrease attack, AoE heal, and AoE small increased defense for 2 turns, but it is on a 3-turn cooldown. And then revives 2 random allies with 25% HP, 25% turn meter. So 2 allies, not 1. That's pretty good. And then shield and all revived allies. I think it's got to be Tree Shield Knot. Faction Crypts, very big for Faction Crypts. Really good for anywhere, kind of just carrying lower level game accounts. Now, I know this video is not going to be for everybody, so if you're an in-game player, mid-game player, and this isn't very relevant, thank you for sticking around. If you're a new game player, hopefully this is helpful. Feel free to leave me comments or join my Discord to ask me any questions. Thank you guys so much for all the recent support on the channel. I really do appreciate it. Please like the video, and I'll see you on the next one.